What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Track Podcast. This is Sonia Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going.
Woo! Hello, hello.
What's happening, everybody?
What's up?
Man, another week is down.
Yep, another week is down.
Yep.
And how has everything been going for you?
Everything's been awesome. Everything's been awesome. It's the beginning of the new year, and, we're kind of slowly but surely, heading in the right direction, making some little changes here and there. And we went for a hike this morning, which was awesome.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I love hiking. I love it. I mean, we did a bit rock climbing, right?
A little bit. Nothing crazy.
But I would like to do more of that.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, would you consider that? That's hiking, I guess, because rock climbing is like.
You know what? This is we weren't planning on talking about this, but we mentioned it while we were out there hiking. So if you guys haven't seen this, kind of like a documentary, it's on Netflix. It's called The Alpinist. Mm-hmm. And it's about a guy that hikes mountains, like frozen mountains in the winter. Well, he hikes all the time, but he's just a dude that's always not hiking, rock climbing. Like he is climbing mountains, like no bullshit, like for real. Like with ropes and like he's sleeping on the side of the mountains with the storm and everything. And
he talks about how he is one, right? Like with the mountain or his climbs. Like it's so peaceful.
Damn it. I was going to say something, but if you guys haven't seen it.
What?
Actually, I will talk about it. If you haven't seen it, skip forward, go watch it, and then come back and listen because we're going to ruin it. But just like today when we were out there hiking, I don't know what it was. We were talking about something and it kind of brought up that, we were just talking to the kids about the mountain because we saw the people rock climbing and we brought up the movie. But that guy, the stuff that he did, he was just somebody, like you said, that was like really connected to nature.
Yes.
And it wasn't like a competition thing for him.
No.
It was never a competition,
No.
even though he was, I'm sure, one of the best in the world at climbing or whatever.
But no one knew about him.
The thing is
nobody
that
heard of him.
He was breaking records that he didn't even know he was breaking.
Right.
Because he was just doing it.
Because he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And because he loved it. And he talks about, because when you look at what he's doing, it's like there's no fear. Right?
Even though it's scary.
We're watching this and we're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But when you start to get to know him, because, he talks about himself and he's very mindful.
Yeah.
He's very present. Like when he's very intuitive with himself.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't remember where at in the documentary if it was the beginning, middle, or end, but whatever. But he talks about that.
Yeah.
About fear. And we had talked about that on the previous episode. And I think I even put a post regarding, fear. Like, what if? What if
we made a clip.
Not?
We made a clip recently.
Yes. And it's like, sky's the limit. Actually, there would be no limit if you weren't afraid of failure or afraid of dying in his case.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, and in this documentary, he's climbing these crazy mountains. And then there's this one and that I had no idea. I think it's in the town at least for us here in Arizona. Like, I don't know if you've seen people wearing gear or like jackets, sweatshirts or whatever that say Patagonia on it. Mm-mm. Like recently in the last few years, I've seen that brand. Patagonia. And I'm like, where did that come from? Because like normally for mountain climbing, hiking, that kind of stuff, skiing, snowboarding, I saw like a lot of the North Face, like Columbia or, there's certain brands. But then this Patagonia brand came out. But then when we were watching this documentary, that was one of the places that he went to go mountain climbing. And there was one where he like almost died. I mean, I think he almost died a few times, but he's always, he always climbed the craziest stuff. And finally, at the end of the documentary, the dude ends up dying they just never found him again. It was during there was like a storm or something happened and there was an avalanche. And that was pretty much the end of the documentary. And it's crazy because when you're watching it, you feel sad for the guy.
You feel sad,
but then at the same time, it's so fucking crazy because it's like that's how he should have died.
Right. He died.
Right?
Yes. And the dude was just full of joy, full of life. When the families that are around him speak of him, it was always that, right? Like he has this thing about him, and he was always joyful and grateful, right? When they were talking about him and his girlfriend, she was a bit sad, but she was happy that he died doing what he loved.
Dude, and then she climbs freaking mountains too.
Yes.
Like even after he passed and everything, and like seeing the mountains that she climbs, it's crazy. But I just can't imagine those experience. Well, we were kind of talking about it today in the car, like the bad side of the new Web 3.0 that's coming and the metaverse and all that shit.
But we're not done talking about
I know, but like we were talking, like I'm just thinking like the experience of being on top of a mountain like that and being able to see things like that stuff that
some people will never, most people will never experience.
Right? And that's where maybe that metaverse stuff is kind of cool. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was telling you with the metaverse thing where like if you've never, for our kids, they've never seen the World Trade Center. One of them peed at the site by accident, not knowing, but they've never seen it. So like if somebody could build a virtual World Trade Center that like looked real, that seemed real, that you could put it on and like experience it, I think that would be a good thing, right? But using it as an escape to escape reality,
right?
I think that would be a negative.
And a lot of people will do that.
Yeah.
It will be just like alcohol. It will be just like drugs, porn, sex. You know, it
Are we
will
partying
be
right now?
Someone.
What are we doing?
But we had such a great time. We took the kids, and it was a absolutely beautiful day.
Yeah.
And when I woke up this morning, I'm like, you know what? I want to do something. I want to go hiking with the kids. And then I got this great thought that, hey, why don't we do this every Saturday? Like, why not?
Yeah.
You know, it's better than just sitting around, or because I'll start cleaning. You know that. Cleaning, whatever needs to be done. I'm doing it. And it's like.
And also, I mean, it also helps kind of keep us on track with the eating, because if we're not going out hiking, we're staying home and making a healthy breakfast.
Right.
Right.
And we're, during the hike, we're talking to the kids. We're having meaningful conversations with the kids, and they are loving it. Like Adriana is loving it.
Yeah.
She loves, you could tell, like this girl, she would probably like rock climbing. And I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy that. And just talking to Junior.
Like rock climbing like we saw today?
Joey, just having those deep conversations while you and Audrey went off in front of us. Joey and I sat on this rock, and we were just having a conversation, and I was teaching him how to breathe and how to meditate and how to shut down the mind, and just getting to know him. And that's something that, even though you wouldn't think Joey would enjoy that, just if you've never done it with him, it's something that I learned today about him, that he would enjoy that.
Yeah.
He loves nature, and that's what he said. He's like, Mom, I would love doing this in nature. I'm like, I get it. It's easy. I said, but this is something that you can also do in your bedroom. You find a quiet place and quiet the mind when you feel upset or you feel uneasy or you're, pissed off at something. It's time. This is like a timeout. But I had him breathe, like take really deep breaths, and I had him visualize that that his stomach was a balloon.
Yeah.
And then breathing in the air, the balloon expands. I'm like, pay attention. I'm like, connect to what you're feeling. I'm like, do you feel your stomach expanding? Kind of like a balloon. When you're blowing up a balloon, how a balloon gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I told him, you want to slowly, breathe out as if the balloon had a leak. I said, but, and he started doing it. And I had him do it 5 times. And afterwards, I asked him to open his eyes and asked him how he felt. And he's like, I feel relaxed. And you could tell like he was just
That's good.
more relaxed.
It seems like that stuff is almost like more automatic when you're in nature. Like it's easy to get into that frame of mind, right? Because you're already here. You're already there. Like you're in nature. You're looking around and
and I told him, I'm like, I don't want you thinking about anything. I said, I want you to listen to the birds, listen to the wind, listen to the water, and focus on that, but also focus on your breathing. Yeah.
Speaking of the birds. We saw a really nice cardinal.
Yeah.
While as soon as we got there, like we had just gotten out of the car, and in like a bush that was a little bit away, I just saw this red thing like fly into it, and I was like, that was really bright, and it was pretty, big. Yeah. So I was like, I want to go see it. So we started walking over to the bush, and there turned out to be like a few cardinals there was a couple in that bush, and then they kind of flew up to a couple branches, and then we saw more of them. But it was like super bright red. You guys, I had seen a cardinal once before that, but that was when we were in Sedona with my mom when we got kind of separated for a little bit. Remember? I saw a cardinal with her then. And then this time was the first time that we've all seen. Had you ever seen a cardinal before?
No, I thought I did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a different bird.
Yeah. What was it?
That was a vermilion flycatcher.
Yeah.
Listen to me like a fucking bird watcher.
Looks similar.
Miguel the bird watcher over here. Fucking that was a cardinal and a vermilion flycatcher. No, but I've looked it up. I like nature too, and they have those by my work. So I saw this little red bird or a black bird with a red chest, and I was like, that's really bright and a cool looking bird. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we were having a conversation, Audrey and I. Well, I think you were there, but you got back into jujitsu and you've been taking Joey, and Audrey went. She's been playing softball, so she's been doing her little exercise during softball. But for the most part, we took a very long break
from jujitsu.
And from jujitsu, right? But that's where you would get your workout most of the time, is going to jujitsu. Yeah. But I was looking back at our lives, and I'm looking at things that we have done well, things that we have gotten better at, right?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this, but marriage, parenting, our finances.
Yeah.
Like it's been a constant, it's just been a journey.
Yeah.
And we're at a good place, and we're looking at getting to a better place.
Yeah.
And it's like we have control of these things, and we've done very well at these things. But we struggle with our health. We struggle.
Yeah.
Right? With like, seriously, because I'm just like, it gets frustrating because I'm at the gym and, I take my rope out and I start jumping and I love it. It's fun. It's challenging.
Yeah.
And I love to dance, and I just dance with my rope. Right? But so I didn't feel as bad jump roping. Normally I could jump rope longer.
Yeah.
But what got me is when I started doing my leg lunges and I started doing my leg extensions, and I felt weak.
Like you had cinder blocks on your legs.
What the hell? Like normally I'm like, I'm doing leg lunges with 15-pound weights in each hand. And it's quite a distance, but still, normally I have like 30-pound weights in each hand.
Yeah.
And it's just, but I'm talking about going backwards.
Yeah.
You know how many times we've gone backwards? And it's like, why is it so hard to just be disciplined in this area? And it's so frustrating to me. And it's not even because in the past I would focus on my outer appearance.
Yeah.
Right? Because I wasn't 100% happy with me. So whenever I would feel heavier or if I'm gaining weight, right? It was so easy just to get back in the gym because I was so focused on the outer appearance. But we have been working on us, right? Like just focusing on personal development and being mindful and just all of it. And I love me today. Like I love the person I am today. So being in this happy place has made it very difficult to get back on that path. And I know so many women and so many men, they can share, you know, this disappointment or whatever it is that you want to call it. But it's like, when is enough? Yeah. You know, and it's such a waste of time though, when you look at all the time that I put into the gym, working out, being healthy, right? All of it. When you think about how long we've been together, well, it's always been.
But that's also maintained you at a certain place because
I haven't gotten
it's not like
crazy
you're super
over,
out of shape, and
right?
I'm not like crazy out of shape. I mean, I'm out of shape. We're out of shape, but it's
I'm
not like,
speaking
oh
my
my
truth
God.
here, so just let me lay it out.
I understand.
You know, let me be pissed, right? Because that's maybe what I need in order to keep me focused. Yeah. You know, and I know that it has to be an us thing. It can't be a me thing. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because you and I, this is our weakness.
Yeah, it is. It has been.
Yes, and we've been talking shit for quite some time on this podcast.
We're always talking
shit. Those
shit.
of you that have been listening to us for quite some time know that, yes, I am speaking our truth. This is because we've talked about getting it together. Yeah, and we haven't gotten it together yet.
Maybe not, but when shit hits the fan, we take care of business. You know what I mean? Like if it came down to
but I don't want to just take care of business for a year. It needs to be a lifestyle change. And so, you know, that's something that you and I, you know, have to make a decision together. And once we make that decision, stick to it. And I'm not talking about not eating ice cream anymore, not having cake anymore. I'm just talking about being consistent when it comes to eating better and going to the gym. Well, because this is the thing. Like I asked Audrey today, I'm like, baby, how long do you want me to live? She said for a long time. Yeah. Right? Because, and I said, okay, well then we
got to eat better.
Yes. You know, because food is medicine.
I know you've listened to a lot of
Dave Asprey
and a lot of other people when it comes to food and stuff.
Yes.
Have you heard about like if you fast more, that you, or like really one of the thing that kills us a lot of times sooner is the food that we eat. So I think there was like a study or whatever, but like if you fast for like the majority of your life, like your body's just like, you give it just enough so that it can survive and do what it needs to do, but it's not like you're overindulging all the time and you're fasting for long periods of time. Then I think that would extend your life. Have you heard any of that in any?
No, fasting, intermittent
or
fasting,
I don't know if I heard
fasting, they talk that it does, but not.
I don't know if maybe that was also like one of those blue zones that we've seen in like a documentary. If you guys don't know what a blue zone is, but those are like places in the world where people live the longest. Like there's a place in Italy that's like that. There's like a community, I think in California, of like a religious Seventh-day Adventist community where they live up to like crazy ages. Right. But I think I remember hearing that part of, or that there's something with like fasting that extends your, or like your body just not constantly processing or not processing as much food. I don't know. I thought maybe you had heard of something like that.
No. Mm-mm. But I'm saying all this to say that, you know, you and I, we're not getting any younger. Yeah. And we want to live for
ever. No.
No, not forever. But, you know, just a healthy, like, what did I tell you earlier? It's like not, we don't want to reverse signs of aging, but what it is just to age gracefully. You know, like when we get older, we're going to have some achy joints and so forth. But it's like if we do our best to be healthy, then, you know, we can live a long, prosperous life so that we can enjoy our grandbabies and enjoy each other.
And it also sets the example for the kids. But I was kind of thinking recently, you know, the whole eating like you've been talking about. And like I think I'm just going to eat better.
Balance.
Like it's not it's not like I need to do this diet thing or like a complete structured whatever. Right. It's like no, most of the time when I can, I'm going to try to eat better, eat healthy. And I know what that is. It doesn't have to be some fucking magic thing, some down to the T, this many grams of fucking chicken that you got to weigh and all that bullshit.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm going to have some chicken. Maybe I'll have some vegetables, some real food.
Maybe vegetables.
Well, no, I'm saying like, no,
food.
chicken, vegetables, like real food.
Yes.
Instead of like a burger or whatever, you know.
Right.
And then when I feel like having something kind of like you were talking about earlier, if I want some fries, maybe I can get a small fry or something, but I'm going to have whatever the hell I want to have just in moderation.
Yes. And this is the thing when you are working out, we like to say that, by the way, and this is the thing.
Yeah.
When you work out, it helps a lot because you're burning calories as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and recently that's a thought that I've had. And then also like, I want to start doing something every single day. Every day, something that makes me better. Something to work on myself, something for us. And then I was also thinking like doing something every day for us, which is pretty simple. I mean, we do something for like we're doing it now. The podcast, I edit podcasts. I'm always looking something up. So that's pretty consistent. But, you know, like working out. Like today we went hiking. That's a good thing for me, like for my health, for our health, you know. So
we
just
did it
every
as a
day.
Family. It was bonding, you know. We
jumping on the elliptical for 30 minutes, you know, going to jujitsu. And I used to, I would give myself these excuses. And it's just those things. It's just bullshitting yourself. Like we've talked about before. We tell ourselves. Where it's like, well, today's a lazy day and I'm not going to do shit. And it's like, well, fucking 30 minutes on the elliptical ain't shit either.
Right.
You know, you can get your ass up and go do it. And then go watch TV or whatever. But do something, fucking anything, you know? So that's just kind of a thought that I had that I want to kind of start doing going forward.
So, not to make everyone laugh. No. So, I had a great time at the gym.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I roped. I did some strength training. I stretched, which felt so good. I am going to focus more on my core because of my back, right? Especially when you get older, you get the back aches, just all of that. So I want to focus. Jiu-jitsu too. I want to focus on my core. So I worked out on my core and then I headed to the sauna. And I love the sauna. There's just something about that sauna. I just really enjoy it.
That's good for you.
So I bought Joey a sweater, black sweater. I washed it and I decided to wear it the day I went to the gym. And so I go into the sauna, I take off the sweater and I'm wearing a spaghetti strap.
Yeah.
Right? Shirt.
Like a little top.
A little top. And I am just like stretched out with my arms underneath my head. And there's another gal in there. And I'm just chilling. Like I'm laying because there's only two of us in there. So I'm laying down and I'm just out. Right? And then, you know, that the girl that was in there, she gets up. And she leaves, and there's some light. There's light in there. And anyways, I decide to get up, leave shortly, and I go into the mirror to wash my hands. And I'm putting on the black sweatshirt, and I look under my arms, and I'm like, what the hell? Right? Yeah. I had all kinds of black
fuzz. The lint from everywhere. All the lint from the sweatshirt was all over her armpits.
Because I was sweating because I was working out with the sweatshirt. So I was sweating. So it stuck to me. So I can only imagine this girl was like, damn.
Like, damn, she's hairy as fuck.
And it was black.
Girl needs to shave.
I started laughing so hard though. But then I started looking closely. And I'm like, oh shit. When's the last time I freaking shaved? Because I can see like my armpit hairs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And anyways, I came home and started taking a shower and I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. You just got a pedicure done and you look down at your legs and you're like, I'm thinking to myself, damn, when's the last time I shaved my legs? And then I started thinking about you and I'm like, I am so glad you're not high maintenance.
Yeah.
Because I can
that's not
only
me.
imagine. Because if you were high maintenance and you were, I'm sure if you're high maintenance, you're probably going to expect me to be high maintenance.
Yeah,
And be
most likely.
expecting me to shave every day.
Yeah.
You know? And anyway, I started laughing my ass off and I started to appreciate you even more.
That's
because
funny.
you never, ever have said anything about my legs not being shaved or my armpits not being shaved. But then I started laughing my ass off.
Why? Because I'm not like that.
Because I am always right
What?
where it counts.
What are you
Because
talking
I'm
about?
always ready.
Here we go. Now she's gonna start talking shit.
I am always ready to get down.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
You know,
true.
like my girl is always taken care of.
Yeah, well-
Especially, and then before my wax girl
look,
stepped out.
look, whether you were or weren't, that ain't phasing me.
but
I'm just letting you know.
but listen, I just thought it was funny as heck because my legs will be hairy, my pits will be hairy, but my JJ will be looking good.
Ready to rock. Oh man.
So I'm like, you're not too bad after all.
No. And then you started telling me about that, and I'm like, we ain't got time to be worrying about that shit. We got more important stuff to worry about than I gotta shave.
But
my-"
no,
you know,
but you would be surprised on
No, I
how
know.
many men and women
Well-
are very high maintenance. But I do give you
Well,
shit because I started thinking,
you
well, you
do-
need to let up. And I have let up on you because normally I'm like, hey, you going to shave today? Hey, you going to cut your hair today?
Well, I think that's in a way, yeah. It is good to like keep yourself together to a point.
Yeah.
To a point. I mean, if you fucking smell all the time, that's a problem. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't love me if I was smelly?
I'm just saying.
Well,
Like,
I'm just saying.
that's something that you can like. You can take a shower and like it's not.
I'm just giving you
It's
shit.
just-
I get
it's-
it. Yeah. No, I take care of myself.
You do.
You know?
You do. But it's not like every single, I see an eyebrow coming in, pluck, you got to freaking, it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
it's not that damn serious.
But I just, it was just very funny to me.
It is funny.
Because, it's winter and it's cold. And so I've been wearing pants a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't, I just thought I couldn't remember the last time I shaved my legs, you know?
That's funny.
And then I'm like, thinking to myself, you need to stop giving him shit.
Yeah. That's right. Take your own advice.
Shut your face.
Oh, man.
And then Joey, because Joey, I was getting him ready and he tries to comb his hair, but he doesn't get the
part.
So I'm combing his hair and he's like, Mom, why does it matter? And why do you enjoy like combing my hair? And I'm like, baby, I enjoy combing your hair and dressing you because your daddy doesn't let me do it. Like, you don't let me dress you,
Oh, no.
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 And
I don't know who lets their wife dress them.
Oh, man. Okay. Question. You heard
You
Miguel. You heard
no.
Miguel.
Every once in a
Hey,
while, like you'll
how
pick out a
many of
shirt or
you-
some shit.
How
But-
many of you men
Hey.
allow your wife, I'm not talking to you right now, how many of you men allow your wife to dress you? Because I know a lot of women, Nicole, that dress their men.
Hey, so what do I tell you when you try to pick some?
And Lorraine, I'm
I
going to
might-
throw them all
hey,
out there.
I might.
They're all related.
I might look like a shit show, but what do I tell you when you try to pick some shit out for me? Like, I'm not a fucking baby. I was like, I can pick my own clothes out.
I know, but you're my Ken. Damn it.
Whatever.
You're my Ken.
I got it.
Shoot.
That's funny.
Anyways, but I'm like, for sure, because I will dress Joey every day and I will comb his hair.
Yeah.
I can't do it to you. So
They could probably tell watching the podcast. They'd be like, oh, yeah, he dresses himself. He looks like a fucking disaster. Oh, shit.
anyways.
So
I have a tip.
what's that? I got a tip, too.
Well, I
Sorry. And I can't miss these opportunities.
I just gave a marriage tip.
Oh, okay.
Women, keep your vagina straight.
There you go.
You want it hot and steamy in the bedroom? Make sure your girl's always ready to go.
Yep.
Because you never know. Sometimes maybe during the weekdays the kids are at school and, you and your husband
You
are
don't know
working
what's
from
gonna happen.
home and,
You sound like you got some personal
just
experience with
happens.
this. Oh, man.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So we hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. We hope you guys are having fun. And if you guys would like to go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you guys can watch the podcast there. You can listen to it there. You guys will see all of our social media. You can follow it. You'll also see the different tabs along the top of the website. And if you hit the menu button on the phone, you can see those different options. But you'll see the support the show tab. And when you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you're doing any of your regular shopping on Amazon, if you click that link.
Hey, Valentine's Day's coming up.
Yeah.
You're going to be shopping on Amazon, you guys.
Yeah, if you're, looking for something special for your wife, for your girl.
Yes, you're trying to keep it hot and steamy in the bedroom. Ooh, ooh. Recommendations, referrals.
Yeah, there's this thermometer.
Okay, let's share that story. We have not shared that story. That's funny. So Miguel, it is funny.
Really?
Yeah, we throw all our business.
Hey, I'm in the middle of trying to make some fucking money for this podcast, and you're gonna start telling sex stories. So if you guys want to pick up this thermometer, do it through our freaking link. All right, go ahead, sell something.
So, shut up. So, anyways, Miguel gets me this new thermometer, whatever, for what was it for? Christmas.
I was about to say what it was for. Like it's for your.
I pull it out of the box, or no. I saw you with it, and I thought, oh no, I saw that it was coming from Amazon.
Yeah,
it was telling me it was like 4 stops away or something. I took a look at the picture and I'm like, oh, Miguel got a new thermometer, because you're always talking shit about the thermometer we have.
And with COVID, you got to have a thermometer.
Right. So I thought you purchased a new thermometer.
Sonja thought I bought her a thermometer for Christmas. What kind of fucking lame ass husband buys his wife a thermometer for Christmas?
I thought you bought it for the family, and I didn't know that it was a Christmas gift. Anyways, how did this happen? It came in and you're like, oh, I got you something or some crap. What happened? I don't remember how the conversation came, but you asked me if a package came, and I said no, but I saw something was on its way. And he's like, oh, you saw it? And I'm like, yeah, you got a new thermometer or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not a thermometer. What is it called?
It looks like one.
What is it called?
The Womanizer Pro, I think. Something like that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's amazing.
Anyway, you don't have to give descriptions. You know what you guys should do?
No, I'm not done.
Okay, go.
So I'm charging the thing. Okay, I'm charging it because I want to check it out.
She wants to get it to maximum power.
But I forgot that, I left it on the nightstand, didn't think anything about it. Yeah. And here comes our daughter, and, she's all happy-go-lucky, and she picks it up, and she's like, oh, Dad bought a new thermometer. How does it work? I'm like, it doesn't work, so we're sending it back.
Holy shit. It looks like one of those temporal thermometers for your temple. Yeah, it's freaking funny.
Yes, go ahead. It's funny. I had to share that. Okay, go on.
But for those of you that are in the market for a new adult female thermometer, you guys can get it through Amazon. And if you look up that one that we just talked about, the Womanizer, you got to read the reviews because they are fucking hilarious. But actually, the reviews on the adult stuff on Amazon is pretty funny a lot of times. But you got to be careful because you can't look at some of that shit around kids because the reviews get out of hand quick, and the pictures too sometimes. So anyway, but if you guys are gonna do some shopping, you can do it through that link. I think how long ago did we start this ad?
I don't know, just go ahead.
Oppositesattractpodcast.com. You can do it through that Amazon link, and you can also shop for our merch. If you search Opposites Attract Podcast, you can find a baseball T-shirt like the one I'm wearing right now. You can find some phone cases, I think maybe pop sockets for the back of the phone that you can stick on there to do the phone stand so you can get a good grip. And when you click on that support the show tab, you also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary and signing agency. So if you are in the process of selling, purchasing, or refinancing your home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Excellent. And you can go to Trust Inc. directly by going to trustinkusa.com. We're also affiliates with Pinwheel, which is the best smartphone available for kids. It's a phone that doesn't give them access to the internet and to all the crazy apps that keeps kids addicted. to their phones. It has their own proprietary app store where all the apps are picked by therapists, teachers, counselors, people that really want to keep kids safe, and they put their kids' best interest in mind. And if you guys would like to try a Pinwheel phone and get 10% off, you can use our promo code OAP10, OAPTEN, all in caps, all together, and that'll give you 10% off of a Pinwheel phone. And shout out to whoever bought a Pinwheel phone using our link, because we got paid. Thank you. And we hope you guys are enjoying it. There was something. Do you remember I was gonna say something about Pinwheel? I was like, oh, I'm gonna mention that recently. I can't remember what it was. Sorry, I don't remember. There's a lot of great benefits to the phone. Like it has the GPS tracking, which I can see on my phone with their app, with the Pinwheel app. And we had recently, our daughter went to go visit some friends, and then she forgot the phone. That's what it was. She had forgot. She had came home and left the phone wherever she was at. I think she was at a school game or something like that. And somebody there from the school that she doesn't know that well saw the phone, picked it up, and took it. But I could see everything through my phone. Yeah. Like I can see all the text. The other thing, actually, I'll pull it up right now. I remembered what it was.
Pull it up right now. Right now.
So one of the really cool things about these Pinwheel phones is that every contact has to be approved by the parents. Remember that? I was telling you about that. And they're not going to receive calls or text messages or anything from anybody unless they've been approved by the parent. And one cool thing, which I'm sure all of you guys get, are all these scam calls and scam text messages and all that crap. And the other day I was kind of going through, the Pinwheel app on our daughter's phone, and I checked all the pending text messages, and there was all kinds, like TikTok messages from scammers, and it's Wells Fargo trying to do this and that. And it's just, it's everything that we all get on our regular phone. She does not get on the Pinwheel phone. So if you guys want 10% off Pinwheel,
sign me up.
Pinwheel.com, promo code OAPTEN, all in caps.
There you go.
So,
and if you would like to buy us a coffee or a beer or a glass of wine, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod.
Yes. And you guys can do it there. Huge shout out to Bill, Ian, and Kelly for buying us coffees. We really appreciate it. And we're excited. Recently there have been, we've been getting some support on the podcast, and it's super exciting. And we really want to say thank you to you guys. We really appreciate your support.
Very, very good.
So
you know how I used to, and I haven't in a long time, but get together with some people and we would create vision boards and all this good stuff. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about at the end of the year, for you to vision how you would like your life to be.
Yeah. At the end of the year to envision.
Or at the beginning. When you look to see where you're at today.
Yeah.
And it's almost a form of meditation.
Or reflection or something. Yeah.
Where you're sitting in a quiet place. And you're visualizing every part of your life, from being the type of wife you would like to be. What kind of parent would you like to be?
Yeah.
How would you like your family to be? Like sitting with that, sitting in that. And where would you like to live? And what kind of house would you like to live in? And what kind of people do you want to surround you? Like, what does your association look like? And how do you feel with whatever career you visualize yourself in, or maybe owning a business, whatever it is?
Yeah.
And how would you feel working in that space and the people that are around you in that space? Would you have a dog? Would you have a cat? Just all of it, and just sitting in that quiet place and visualizing how you would like your life to look like? And family members, just how would you like your relationships
who you want to be with.
How would you like your relationships?
Yeah.
How would that look like? And how would it feel? The support.
Yeah. So you do that at the beginning or at the end of every year. Yeah.
And then after you got that down, like once, and it's more like you're visualizing it, but not only are you visualizing it, like you're closing your eyes, you're sitting in a dark place, but you allow yourself to truly sit in it and to allow those emotions to come about, right? Like being happy, being, just peace and succeeding.
Yeah.
And no excuses. Like there's no room for any excuses for anything that you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
If you want to be wealthy, what would you do with that money?
So that reminds me of something that, well, you said you wanted to talk about. Did you have more? I don't wanna cut you off.
Then after you feel it, because your body, like I'm feeling it, like just talking about it, like I'm getting excited because I know that we are on that path, right? Like there's some things with health and, other things that we need to get better at, but not so much. Our focus hasn't really been there this last year, right? Yeah. But once you feel that and once you're excited and once you're ready, then you strategize. What are some things that I need to change in order to get there? What are some things I need to learn?
Yeah.
Because if you want to be a business owner, what are some things I need to learn? What are some things I need to get better at? What are some things that I need to unlearn?
Change. Yeah.
Undo.
Yeah. That reminds me of, you mentioned it earlier this week that you wanted to talk about it. And actually, Ian from Ian and Kelly, he listens to the Jocko podcast. And that's something, if you guys, we've talked about Jocko a bunch of times on here, but it was one of his first posts of the year. And he was kind of just giving some advice on something that's kind of helped him out through his life. And if you guys don't know, Jocko was a Navy SEAL commander. He's like a decorated Navy SEAL and a very thoughtful person, like the way he approaches life. He has a no bullshit approach to life, like working hard and getting after it, no excuses. And he's a very successful person because of it. Mm-hmm. But what he was talking about the beginning of this year was thinking strategically, which is the way he put it in military terms, was thinking strategically versus thinking tactically. And what that means is strategically is like stepping back and looking at the big picture of kind of like what you're saying, like where you want to go, where you want to be in the end of this thing. What are the goals? What is our ultimate destination? And how are we going to get there? And then, because sometimes when you're looking at things that are happening like right here, right now, and you want to make a decision, and you make that decision, you're making a tactical decision. You're making a decision right there on the spot
and
for what's happening now.
And an emotional decision as well.
And sometimes you have to make those tactical decisions when things are happening in that moment. But a lot of times you have to step back and look at, where are you trying to go? Like, is what I'm doing right now going to get me to that strategic goal in the future? Right. And there's a lot of times that we don't think about it and we just do things that aren't going to get us any closer to the goal. Right. So I think that's, like once, like you're saying, you sit down and you think about where you want to be, who you want to be with, the things that you want to be doing. And then you have to start coming up with a strategic plan on how you're going to get there, the steps that you're going to take. And then you have to think about the things that you're doing now. And are those things going to get you to that point? Because a lot of times they're not going to. And I think, there's so much that we have to talk about. There was something with the finances. I guess we can kind of get into that a little bit.
Right now, the finances?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we go...
Is there anything else before we move on to the next topic? I
Yes.
just read that up there.
So,
we're trying to sound professional and shit.
No, but that's good because I was not done. But I wanted to also get into the conversations. Like you and I are talking about, the visualization and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
it's good that you and I are talking about this. But we also have three little humans that have to also hear about this. A lot of times adult conversations happen between adults, like these types of conversations, but the kids also need to be involved. They also have to hear. A lot of the times when we are having a discussion or conversing, the kids are around and the kids are paying attention and they're listening, whether you think they are or they're not. Today, after the amazing hike we had as a family, we also went out to eat. And we started I started noticing, we've been noticing how the kids communicate with each other. And it's not very respectful. And you hear it all the time that the people that are the closest to us are the ones that we take for granted, right?
Yeah.
We give everyone else our best, and then the ones that we love and closest to us get whatever's left over, when it should be the opposite.
You know where I saw that a lot? I saw that a lot in Legal Shield. Because in Legal Shield, you have your different markets, the different cities, right? And you all have leaders in different markets in different cities.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And here in Arizona, we've had them on the podcast, Larry and Donnie Smith. Yep. I mean, they are incredible people. They're some of our best friends that we've known for such a long time. And they used to run the market here where we're at.
Yes, in Arizona. Yes.
And when you first join the company, you find out about them and like they're millionaire club members and they're this, they've achieved all these great things. And it's like, oh my God, it's almost like a celebrity type of thing, right?
Yes, yes.
But then week after week, meeting after meeting, month after month, you see them, you get to know them, and then you start to know them personally. And I don't think we've ever kind of taken it like for granted because we've always held them in very high regard.
We've always valued their time.
But one thing that we've noticed is that when they would leave town and go somewhere else, like the people that were getting them over there because they don't get to see them the way we would get to see them, they would be so excited to see them. And it's this, and you know where else I've seen it? Also in jiu-jitsu. Like when you get a high black belt that goes to another school to go teach and do some things, I mean, they're held in very high regard, but at their own school sometimes it's like, well, we get to see them all the time.
Right. It's
you know what I mean?
Who? Yeah, right. So I wanted to bring this to their attention while we were having brunch. And
look at us.
Audrey.
Having brunch, having mimosas.
And, I saw Joey was kicking Audrey under the table, not on purpose. He wasn't doing it on purpose. And what did she tell him? Hey, stop kicking me. And Joey's like, I didn't know I was kicking you. And that's when the conversation came about. And I always like to point to us.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know that you and I never really disrespected each other. Like speaking, hate.
Disrespectfully.
Yes. Yeah. But there's times where we're in a hurry and I'm like,
yeah, it may not
do
be
this. Or it's not, hey, baby, can you please take out the trash? Or, hey, babe, can you do this? Can you please? Sometimes it's more of a demand, I guess, sometimes. Right?
Yeah.
And that could be taken in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so I used us for an example. I'm like, listen, there's time. I understand, you and your brother, you guys argue and get into it sometimes. And I said, but, he didn't know that he was kicking you.
Yeah, he was just swinging his
you
feet.
could have responded. You could have been like, hey, bro, you're kicking me under the table.
Hey,
can you please stop?
Can you please stop kicking? Well, no, not even that. Just a couple things. Hey, put this song on.
Oh, yes, exactly.
And it's like, no.
Excuse me? Yeah, but... And two, they're like that because a lot of times we do it because we don't even think about it, and we just do it.
When you just do it, it's like, oh, I guess that's okay.
Because you don't take it from yes, and so they don't know any better because it hasn't been brought to their attention. And when they bark orders at us,
sometimes you got to keep.
You don't recognize them barking the order. We just do it because we know their hearts are in a good place. They're not really disrespectful kids, so we don't take it to heart.
But it's exactly like what I'm talking about. Like the black belt's going to another school, and it's yes sir, no sir to that black belt when he goes to that school.
Right.
Just like when they're talking to a teacher, yes sir, no sir, and this and that.
Yes.
But when it's their parents that they see every day on a
Right.
regular basis, it's like, hey, old man,
Right.
fucking do this.
Right. Right. So when I started to talk to her and, show her how she could have responded, or told her how, this is another way that you could have responded. And then Joey, and then she's like, yeah, but Mom, you said that, when you and your brother were younger, that you guys used to argue and fight. And I noticed that she does that a lot, right? When we tell them how we grew up or whatever, she kind of throws it back. But there's such a huge difference. And when she said that, there's not much that I didn't think about how to respond to that, because I did tell her that. And you came in and you said,
well, I told her, I was like, we grew up differently. Like nobody, when I was growing up and when you were growing up, we didn't have this type of household. Like for the most part, when I was with my brothers and sisters, I was left alone. Like I was watching them. So there was nobody to try to help my relationship with them.
Communication.
It was what it was.
Right.
If I smacked them around, I smacked them around. If I yelled at them, I yelled at them. If, whatever it was, there really wasn't any guidance.
Right.
But with them, like we're seeing them doing things to each other, and it's like, hey, we want to try to address this,
right?
So you guys have a better relationship.
Yeah, and we told her, you guys are not growing up
I didn't used to smack my brothers around
the way we grew up.
Yeah,
I said our family didn't have dinner together every night. Mom and Dad were not taking us out for baseball games or for a hike.
I don't remember hearing the word mindful my entire childhood.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
But we had to lay it out for them because they just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And once we laid it out for them and got them to understand, and a lot of times you will get a kid to understand you when you start to ask questions. Like you ask them questions, and you get them to recognize the difference.
Yeah.
That's when things connect for them.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. And so once we laid it out for them, it seemed like they got that. Would you agree? Like they understood the importance of, why it's important to communicate from a place of love and respect. Because I told her, I said, this isn't just going to help, your relationship with your brother. It's going to help you throughout life with your friends, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend. And then they start giggling.
Yeah.
But I think that is a great way to be able to, because a lot of parents are like, how do I reach my kid? I don't understand, because when I talk, they shut down.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. It's asking them a question, but not to not make them feel like they're being interrogated.
Yeah.
But to get them to feel that you're really trying to understand them. And get to
or help
the way
you're trying to help,
or
that
actually
kind of leads into something. This week I was listening to a book, and they were talking. Well, you were just saying about how Audrey or Joey, one of them, was like, well, when you were a kid,
Audrey,
you used to, you and your brother. You told me you and your brother used to fight all the time,
right?
And they were saying that in the beginning, it's kind of like we are like the superheroes. Like everything that we say goes. We are the smartest people on the planet when it comes to kids, right? Or to our kids. Like they think we know everything. We can do no wrong.
Until they get to a certain age.
They said that it was kind of like the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you remember hearing that in the book, but it was kind of like the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yes, yes. I remember.
At right around age 11, 12, 13, around that time, they get to see behind the curtain.
Yes.
And they get to see that everything that they thought was what it was isn't exactly what it seems. They can they see that Oz is back there pulling the levers and making things happen. Right. And they start to realize that maybe mom and dad don't know everything like they thought they did. Right. You know what I mean? And that's when they start to rebel. But I never really kind of looked at it in that way. But the reason
why they rebel is because when they're little, We are their, oh my God, right? Like mom and dad, like they look up to us, they idol us, they love us unconditionally when they're little.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we can tell them the sky is red
Anything,
and they
they'll
will
believe it.
believe the sky is red.
Yeah.
But once they start to get to a certain age, they start to see, okay, is what my mom telling me and my dad telling me, is it matching up to what they are actually doing?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, you can tell me you love me, but if you're not going to my games or you're not home at night.
Yeah, you tell me one thing and do something else.
Exactly. That's when they start to see, okay, well, that's where not the disrespect, but that's when they come in and they start to question.
Yeah.
Right? They start to rebel.
And like you were saying, like explaining things to them. Another thing that they were talking about is like when a kid comes up to you and tells you, like, maybe like smoking was a great example. Like, hey, what, like when a kid gives you a hypothetical, like, what would you do if you caught me this, smoking, drinking, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, or I think for some parents, the instinct is to automatically go to, if I catch you, that's going to be the like, you're never going to be allowed out again.
Right.
You're never going to go
going
see your
to
friends
boarding
again.
school, or you're going to,
or every time, you know what? Whenever I see you walking by, I'm going to be like, I'm going to smell you and see what you smell like. See if you smell like cigarettes or what, you know, because
right.
I'm going to catch your ass.
Right.
The better approach would be to explain to them, like, why?
Health.
Why don't you want them smoking? Why
Right.
don't you want them drinking at their age? Like, what are the consequences? What could happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that was just something that, you know, I was listening to this week that I thought, you know, is a good approach to handle stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, whoever wants to be threatened.
Well,
You know?
I've heard that, but that seems like a common thing. Like, I've heard that a bunch of times before. Like, oh, if I catch you, I mean, maybe it's happened to us. Like, if I catch you, this is going to happen, you know, and that's not the best way to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yes. This whole parenting thing. I mean, I'm feeling more confident,
Yeah.
you know, with, you know, parenting and just, you know, with the kids, because I used to always say, you know, there's no manual that comes with these kids, right? They're born and it's like, here you go.
Yeah.
Now what? And a lot of times the only thing you have to go off of is how you were raised.
Yeah.
And not knowing, some of us, not knowing any better, we just continue on that same
Progression. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but then it's like when you see that there's challenges, you know, happening or struggles or whatever it may be. And I think that with us, that's something that, you know, we decided, you know, I don't have a clue what's going on. I don't remember being a preteen or a teenager, and we just started reading and looking into things, and little by little, you know, things started to unfold and we started to get answers, and then we started to change and undo some of the things that we were taught.
Yeah.
We've done so much undoing.
I think the best thing that we've learned is that you can learn anything.
That's right.
That you can learn about anything. If you're going through something, whatever it is, you can learn about that.
And there's things I feel that at a certain point in your life, you have to become mindful in order to undo the things that you don't know that you have to undo.
That's tough.
Right? You know, like this whole health thing. I'm like, is there something there? As a kid, like that's where my thoughts are with this right now. As a kid, is there something that I learned about, you know,
is there a reason
food?
behind it or something? Yeah.
Yes. Is there something? And that's now where my focus is going to be, because I almost feel that there is. I almost feel that there is, because it's such a struggle for me that I feel that there's something that I have to undo, or something that I need to let go, forgive, like whatever it is. I feel that there's something there.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe
Maybe
do
there
some
is,
meditation.
but there is, yeah, so now I'm like, what if that's the missing piece to my perfect puzzle? No,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's gonna be ongoing because we're gonna go through challenges in marriage.
Yeah.
The kids are only 10 and 12 for God's sake,
We
and
still
16.
got a long way.
So there's still so much that we're going to go through when the kids, once they become teenagers and they start dating and they start driving. It's going to be constant. What's next? What do we need to learn next? What do we need to learn next?
Yeah.
Yep. Learning is forever. And there's so much to learn. There's so much. And if you ever feel stuck, just go on YouTube.
Start learning something. Yep. There was something that I had a thought earlier in the week, and I was kind of talking to you about it. And last week we kind of talked about money and kind of changing your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a saying that I had heard a while back, and I didn't understand it at first, but then little by little, as you start understanding things and having more experiences, you kind of get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I had heard somebody say that it was expensive to be broke.
Mm.
And I was like, how? Like, how can it be expensive to be broke if you have no money? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have money, how is it expensive? But then when you start learning what they talk about, it being expensive to be broke, and like kind of like last week we were talking about getting out of debt is your starting point to start finally securing your financial future. But when you have that broke mentality and you live in that environment where it's like a cycle of things. And what they mean by it's expensive to be broke is like, if you don't pay your bills on time and you have bad credit.
Oh, gotcha.
When you take out a loan, your interest rate is going to be way higher than my interest rate.
Right.
Because when I take out a loan, I'm going to get the best interest rate.
Right.
Because I have credit.
Right.
But guess what? If I have good credit, I most likely also have some money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're broke, you probably don't have good credit. So it's going to cost you more for the same loan. Now, that's even if you can qualify for a loan. Right. Because if you can't qualify for a loan, where my loan will probably be, I don't know, 3%, 5%, yours might be 25% or 18% or whatever. But if you can't get that loan, you have to resort to a payday loan, which I don't even know if that's legal anymore, or like a title loan. Mm-hmm. But those are things that you don't even, those are only in certain neighborhoods, certain areas where they can, take advantage of certain people, of their situations. But those loans are also like super
crazy
high interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
So it costs even more money. And then if you don't pay the loan back, they take your car, they take your whatever. Mm-hmm. So it becomes even more expensive,
and overdraft fees.
Yeah. You get, if you don't have money in your account and you spend more than you have in there, $30 overdraft fee for a freaking $5 overdraft. So you're going to pay more for the fee than you do for whatever you spent on it. And then you get a few of those and it's a couple $100. You get late fees on your rent, late fees on your car. Mm-hmm. Those are things that everybody else, they don't have to pay. That's why they say it's so expensive to be broke.
And I mean, when I bought my first house, I was 23 years old and I already had my career. And I knew that this was going to be my house. So I had more responsibility. If the AC breaks, the yard needs to be done. Just all of it. And if you don't have those extra
finances
saved, then what?
Yeah.
But of course we could talk a lot about this.
And the crazy,
because,
sorry.
We know a little bit something about that.
But the crazy thing is, too, that even though it's expensive to be rich, while it's being expensive to be rich, all you're doing is making the people that are rich richer. Because you're paying a higher interest rate to who? To the bank. The bank already has all of everybody's money. these businesses that do the payday loans or whatever, I mean, that's a business. That's somebody owns that. I'm sure they probably do okay. But when you have to pay those fees or whatever, you're making them richer.
Right.
You know? And it's just a cycle. And you have to kind of get that. You have to understand that thought process and change it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's pretty crazy. Like just that whole concept of it's expensive to be broke.
Right.
You know, and that, like, I never want to be paying somebody else things like you're just giving away for, like, it hurts now. Like, maybe back in the day when you're broke and you don't have money, you pay an overdraft fee. It's like, whatever. Now that we have money, like, if I had to pay late fees and overdraft fees for something, like, it fucking bothers me. Because it's like I'm throwing money away. You know what I mean?
Right. And you know better now.
Yeah.
I was talking, how much time do we have, love?
We're good. We can wrap it up whenever.
Okay. So, just really quick, I was listening to a podcast and she was talking about when she was a little girl, or not a little girl, when she was in high school. She remembers walking into her counselor's office. And she wanted to talk to her counselor about her future career. And her counselor, of course, is talking to her about possibly being a doctor. She asked her, what are you good at?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you could be a doctor, you can be an attorney, you can be a teacher, you can be a journalist. Like, she's giving all these things out. And she's like, today, she's like, now that I see things for what they are. She's like, because back then, she's like, I remember people that wanted to be rich or people that wanted to be wealthy were frowned upon.
Yeah.
And she said, and I don't get it. Because as a woman, she's like, as a woman, she's like, why are we not talking to our kids about being financially free? Why not be rich? Why not be healthy? Why are the counselors here, taking these kids back and putting them in these little boxes instead of asking them, how much money would you like to make?
Yeah.
Like, helping them to dream, helping them to think bigger, helping them to, start thinking outside the box. How much money would you like to make? She's like, why can't we be wealthy and smart and loving and giving? Why is it that society has painted being rich and wealthy such a horrible picture?
Yeah, like
she's like, because little girls, she's like, my daughter, she is going to, I have her on this process where money is it's out there.
It's good.
Does it grow on trees? Yes, it grows from tree, but you got to work at it. You got to work for it. It's not going to fall out of the sky.
But it's not bad to want it.
She's like, but she says you will have more opportunities if you are wealthy. Because if you are in a relationship and this man is not being good to you, you don't have to stay because you got the means to do for you.
You have options. That's all money gives you.
Yes.
It gives you options.
She's like, and if you are in a career, where a boss is not treating you right and you have been saving up, but you've been making a boatload of money, you don't have to stay because you're smart. You were smart enough to put away, to walk away from that career and go do the thing that you really, really want to do. Yeah. Why not be rich? Why not talk to our kids about making a boatload of money instead of asking them who they want or what do they want to be when they grow up? Why don't you ask them, how much money would you like to make?
Yeah. And back in the day when you would see somebody that had a really nice car or somebody that had a really big house or whatever, and it was like, well, how did they do that? It's like, oh, well, that's so-and-so. They own this. And after that, they opened another store. Mm-hmm. And now he's got that house. And back in the day, it seemed like it was like, well, you know what? If I get an idea and if I open up a store, maybe one day I can do that. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's almost shifted to, well, how come he has to have that? Like, how come he doesn't need such a big house? And it's like, Well, that's the whole wrong attitude. Why don't you go fucking do something? I mean, you could have it too if you wanted it.
Yes.
You know, they built it. They earned it.
Yeah. And think about, and because this is, I feel that I also have to heal. There's an area that I need to heal. There's something with money, and I have to give myself permission.
Yeah.
To be wealthy. It's hard for me to even say, like, I want to make a boatload of money.
Yeah.
Because
and there's nothing wrong with that. It's weird, right?
No, because my heart is in the right place. And I know that if once I start to make that boatload of money,
yeah,
that I could help so many more people.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no cap.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like money is not the root of all evil. It's people's hearts. If your heart is in a good place, in a right place,
yep,
then you're going to help so many people and make a difference in so many people's lives. But if you have some shit that you have not healed from and your heart is hardened and you have anger and hate and greed in your heart,
the money's going to amplify all that.
Exactly.
Brings it out.
If you want to know a person,
give them money.
Give them a
money and power.
Yes.
Money and power are the two things that will bring out a person's true personality.
Yep.
So, and with that, there's a lot of other stuff that we want to get into. We also watched this this show with our daughter that it was like a documentary. We've mentioned it on here before, and we kind of started it a while back, but recently we watched the whole thing with her. It's called Childhood 2.0, and it's all about kids and social media, and we learned a lot from it. If you guys haven't watched it, make sure you guys check it out. But I think on the next episode, it would be great. We can talk about, some of the things that we learned from this Childhood 2.0.
Hey, you know what? Since we're ending it this way,
yeah,
those of you that have children, watch it.
Yes.
Watch it. And I know that you're probably going to have comments or questions regarding what you watch. Maybe we can talk about that. We can answer your questions.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yes.
You guys check it out. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's Childhood 2.0. And it's something, I guess you could watch it with your kids, I would think. We watched it with our daughter, Audrey.
Who's 12 years old. You might want to watch a little bit of it before you decide to, because I don't think Joey's ready for that.
No, I don't think so.
10-year-old,
I think about
young.
12.
Yeah, minimum.
Well, it also depends on your kid and what they know.
Right.
And what they're into.
Yes,
but you guys can check it out and make a decision for yourselves. But yeah, it's definitely worth watching. It has a lot of really great information, and it's eye-opening on a lot of the issues that cell phones are causing for kids. But we'll get into a little bit more of that next week.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. You guys can find our show there. You can listen to it there. Like I said before, if you guys want to give us a call, send us your questions. We can play the questions on the show and we'll answer your questions. If you guys have comments for us and you want to send us a message, you can call us at 480-912-5128.
Thank you guys for your love and for your support and for watching Opposites Attract podcast,
where we get better
together. Bye.